Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. This one is for Monday the 9th of January going through until Sunday the 15th of January 2023. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today for this weekly horoscope. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go through each day to see what the planets are doing, so how they interact with one another. And the point of these horoscopes is to then try and understand what energy that creates, because over the next 7 days, this is how we're going to be influenced. And there are certain things where we're naturally supported, so it makes sense to look at those things. And there will be certain challenges. So that's what I try and do in these weekly horoscopes. The good news about this week is that finally, we've got Mars, the personal planet of drive and movement and ambition and kind of getting things done. That goes direct on Thursday, the 12th of January. So that's great news. If any kind of projects or work plans or anything has just been in neutral for a long time and has not gone anywhere, the momentum will start to pick up, particularly on Thursday, and you'll have a much easier time of it. So it was in retrograde since the 30th of October, so it's been like that for a long time. Okay, so let's have a look at each day then. And I feel this week it kind of starts off a little iffy. Monday, Tuesday is going to be a bit complicated. It then gets easier, and then the major shift happens on Thursday, and the weekend is totally different. So starting with Monday, the 9th of January, we've got the moon in Leo, and it forms an opposition with Saturn in Aquarius. And I feel a little bit bad for the poor Leo moon. Just wants to have a good time, wants to go dancing. And then right across from it is the giant outer planet Saturn in Aquarius saying, yes, but have you followed the rules? have you met all of your responsibilities, and have you done everything you're supposed to? It's very strict and unfun. Then also the Leo moon squares Uranus and Taurus, so it has to deal with all this practical stuff, all this chaos that it wasn't looking forward to. It quincunxes Mercury in Capricorn, so there's a sense of you must work and be productive. The Sun in Capricorn, and that's helpful because it naturally is more grounding. So the moon can be your heart and the sun your head, right? So the Leo moon is really upbeat, and I wouldn't usually say that Leo is particularly vulnerable or overly sensitive, but with all these big kind of things coming in, with all these expectations and rules, I think Monday can feel a bit like, oh, what's next? Jeez, what do you want now? It also quincunxes Neptune and Pisces. So the good thing is that your intuition is on your side. Listen to your gut; it won't lead you in the wrong way. Venus in Aquarius trines Mars in Gemini, and that's actually really nice for new relationships and kind of being mentored by someone you wouldn't have expected to have answers to certain things you've got going on. Mars in Gemini, you may find yourself weirdly open, or the words just tumble out. If you're a creative person, Monday is good for that. So overall on Monday, I feel that you will feel the pressure from institutions, work issues, or kind of anywhere where people can put expectations on you. Your intuition is your friend, and it'll also help to keep anxiety at bay. So go with your gut, use that intuitive ability to tap into like this big calm, You may find that spending time with friends and family and kind of letting your hair down in that sense, that's also a good antidote to any stress you have going on. So it's more about, the people in your inner circle than the big institutions who may demand something. Tuesday, the 10th of January, we've got the moon in Leo, and it quincunxes Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is also an outer planet. In Capricorn, it's kind of serious. It's like, transform your circumstances. But I don't think this is as harsh as the day before. Kind of Saturn, I feel, was sitting there wagging its finger a bit like bad, naughty, naughty. So with this, it's more like, I'm willing to change things, but not everything has to be 100% within my control. I'm flexible and adaptable, which makes things a bit easier. So I think the pressure is off a bit. Then the moon enters Virgo at 4:15 in the afternoon, and that immediately you land back on planet Earth. Virgo is an earth sign, it's ruled by Mercury, so it's very interested in kind of making sense of things. So your inner operations managers running around getting everything organized. The Virgo moon squares Mars in Gemini, and it quincunxes Jupiter in Aries. Now, this combo I think is fabulous for going to your room, sitting down, getting out a piece of paper and saying, okay, this is what I'm going to this is what my life is. And that moment of 5 minutes clarity, I'm just going to get this down on paper. This is what I want to do. I'm going to get things organized in my own mind because this is really important to me. So there's this kind of moment you can almost steal for yourself to really have the penny drop if things haven't been clear. So that's the great thing about Mars retrograde, and we're like in the final days of it here, that because you're not going, you can assess things and say, okay, when I go again, where am I going to go? So on Tuesday, you feel more grounded and you're willing to tackle situations head on. But again, I think if you can include that planning, brainstorming session, or do that before you tackle things externally to yourself, that's going to be better. You do put less pressure on yourself. You feel less self-conscious and you're on top of your game. If you have possible challenges in your work or difficult conversations that need to be had, do them on Tuesday the 10th. You feel on top of your game. You can kind of anticipate what may be coming at you. You can deal with it effectively, appropriately. It's a very kind of sensible, can-do attitude. It's great. Wednesday, the 11th of January, we've got the Virgo moon forming a square with Mars in Gemini, still in retrograde, final day of it. So the Virgo moon is going to like to think that it has all the answers, but then with friction with Mars in Gemini, it's almost like misinformation being chirped in the ear, and there could be like you getting the wrong end of the stick here, or like misinterpreting something. It trines Mercury in Capricorn, which also is still in retrograde. Have I mentioned that? Mercury is the communication planet, right? When it's in retrograde, also, it gives you the opportunity to slow down and to understand yourself better. But in Capricorn, in retrograde, it's kind of like a funny idea about what you should be working on. So there's a potential to completely like gallop off in the wrong direction. So be careful with any of that. The Virgo moon also then trines Uranus in Taurus, and it quincunxes Venus in Aquarius and Chiron in Aries. So I'm willing to change or to work with what's happening and to be flexible. Information is still very important to me. I want to be educated in a way, and my own interest is important in this. Mercury in Capricorn then squares Chiron in Aries. So that's where I think it's a bit like there's room for error. That's what I think. So on Wednesday the 11th, you may have a tendency to put your foot in your mouth. So watch out for awkward moments with people, and definitely think before you speak. If you don't, and you do say something that you then have to like apologize for, the fallout is going to be far more time consuming than just exercising caution. Let's see. Thursday, the 12th, hooray, finally Mars goes direct. Yes. So, we only have 3 personal planets, Mercury, Mars, and Venus. So when 2 of them are in retrograde like they have been, it does cause a problem. I mean, it has given us the opportunity to plan. But I mean, sooner or later, if you're just planning, you're going to get bored, right? Like sooner or later, you want to get on with it. And Wednesday is the final day where it's like, I can create problems for myself here, or how can I complicate my life? So this Mars going direct on Thursday, I think, is really significant. We've got the moon in Virgo opposing Neptune in Pisces. So the moon in Virgo likes order, and it likes information, it likes to know where it's at. The opposition with Neptune and Pisces, the intuition seems very far away. It's like, bye Neptune. It trines the Sun and Pluto in Capricorn. So there's this sense that work to change, very serious. Hang on, I'm just going to close the door. Don't know if that's going to make a difference. Whatever. Last time it was ringing and I checked the video and you could still hear me. It's like, you can hear it in the back, but it doesn't drown me out. So I'm just going to keep going. Sorry. So it trines the Sun and Pluto in Capricorn, and it quincunxes Saturn in Aquarius. So that's better, because now it's not like, these institutions are against me and everyone's like expecting something from little old me. It's like, okay, I can be a part of an institution and make a contribution and them help me, and vice versa. I can change my work. It's really now, I'm in action mode again. I don't just have to plan it. So any frustration that's been associated with that goes away. Venus in Aquarius sextiles Chiron in Aries. Right, so institutions and information and the knowledge of others is now a tool for you that you can utilize to get where you want to go. So the whole attitude really changes. So the vibe really shifts completely and the waiting game is over. If you've been kind of in limbo or you feel like you've just been spinning your wheels, not going anywhere, plans, projects, applications, plans to move, anything like that, you can get on with it and you can start to make the changes you've been longing to make for a long time now. So remember what your hopes and dreams are and make them happen starting today, Thursday the 12th. Friday the 13th of January, we've got the moon going into Libra now at 3:56 in the morning. And the moon in Libra is kind of really a nice add-on to kind of Mars going direct, because the moon in Libra allows you to enjoy this new vibration, this new kind of sense of motivation without becoming overwhelmed, and you can actually really find your balance really quickly. The Libra moon then opposes Jupiter in Aries and Chiron in Aries. So your relationships are going to be very important, and it's almost like you kind of say, okay, I feel like I'm back to normal now. Now I can enjoy the people around me. It's not very Capricorn, that attitude. It's more like, let's go to the beach. The moon in Libra squares Mercury in Capricorn, okay, which is still in retrograde until the 18th. So yeah, I really think you take a moment and say, I feel like things are happening now, so I can kind of relax a bit. The pressure really comes off, I feel. It trines Mars in Gemini and Venus in Aquarius, so I want to meet new people and talk and have new experiences. And it quincunxes Uranus and Taurus, so I also want to see different places and like experience a mini holiday here. The Sun in Capricorn sextiles Neptune in Pisces, so behind the scenes, you're still working on your hopes and dreams. And if the best thing to do is to set things into motion, like on Thursday, and then on Friday, watch things play out while you're sitting back and watching it all. And, cheers, wonderful. Like, look at all my hard work now finally paying off. Yeah. So Friday, I think, is a great time to celebrate with friends, colleagues, and family. The miscommunications that were likely earlier in the week are now unlikely. So going sightseeing or discovering a new place in your area or further afield, all of that's going to be exciting and fun, and take other people along for the ride. You'll have a great time. Saturday the 14th, we've got the Libra moon now forming a square with the Sun in Capricorn. So a much more sober approach to, I want to bring balance into my life. It trines Venus and Saturn in Aquarius. So now you're like going or the other way, and it's like, oh my God, I love institutions and libraries and the knowledge of the wise ones. So if you're, like I watched this documentary on Netflix, when was it? Yesterday or something. The Hancock guy, and he had all these secret, these locations, like go something Tepe, Göbekli Tepe, something like that in Turkey, like all these ancient sites. And his argument is that there was a human culture, like not 5,000 years ago, but much before that, like at the end of the last ice age, like 11,000 BC. And I just went down the rabbit hole. I found it so interesting. So when you see something that really captures your imagination, that's the kind of thing here that I think you can get into. The Libra moon then also quincunxes Uranus and Taurus and Neptune and Pisces. So you're interested in that kind of spiritual, intellectual adventure, but you're also interested in looking at what makes you feel good, taking a bit of a time out, still kind of holiday mode, relax. I want to enjoy this balance. So on Saturday, I think that this wonderful sense of calm and ease and comfort kind of washes over you. It's just like, oh, like you're lying in a hammock. So there's an element of confident practicality coupled with spiritual awareness. And because of that, you may adopt a very even-keeled perspective. You're very chill about everything. So it is a good day to relax, to do things you enjoy, and to give more thought to what brings you joy in life. Like use this balanced time out to say, okay, how can maybe that's the thing you love, to just take a time out once in a while. But if you do have that moment, what is it that I want to bring more of? It's not English. What things that I enjoy doing, how can I bring more of those into my life? Sunday, the 15th of January, the Libra moon squares Pluto in Capricorn. So I want to bring balance to my life via my changes. The moon goes into Scorpio at 8 minutes past 1 in the afternoon. So the intuition now is even louder. And you naturally are able to get to the root cause of things and identify the issue if there is one. The Scorpio moon sextiles Mercury in Capricorn. So Mercury is still a bit unreliable, right? So the Scorpio moon gives you really good intuitive information, but then Mercury in Capricorn, maybe technically you may not be so error-free. So that's always tricky, you know, if you're trying to suss out if you can trust your intuition, it's like the other way around. Your intuition you can trust, but double check everything communications-wise. And then it quincunxes Jupiter in Aries and Mars in Gemini. So again, I think it's better to plan and to take some time to kind of get all your, especially here at the weekend, if you're spending lots of time with other people, where, I don't know about planning on Sunday, but don't be so certain that you're right, definitely. So I think Sunday relationships continue to be great, and expect more movement today in your personal life. So either someone new shows up, or someone exits, like someone moves away, or you may hear from an old friend or even an old partner. So I think on this day, because it's so, there's potential for error, if an ex shows up on Sunday and calls you out of the blue, I think that's a really bad sign. Pay attention to it if that happens, especially on this day. Because I think it's the past kind of trying to reel you back in. So if you can avoid that, or just be aware of it and just like really exercise some caution and listen to your gut on it. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I get for you this week. I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. I'm sorry if this was a bit all over the place this week today. It feels like it was. I hope I got my points across. I do. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. When you get to the website, just scroll down a bit on the front page and you'll see a button show up that says book your reading. Click on that button to audio reading with me. In my personal readings, I use astrology, the tarot, and numerology. So for your astrology chart, to draw that up, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then order a chart rectification with me, please, on the website. That's a process where I work out your time of birth. Once I have that info, then I draw up your natal chart, and that really tells me a great deal about you. Strengths, weaknesses, what's destined in certain areas of your life, what you can change, what's good, what's going to be easy and work for you, and what's going to be more of a challenge. Also, I look at the progress chart and transits to see what's coming up in future. If it's around your birthday, I draw up a solar return chart that tells me what's coming up in the year ahead for you, like from your birthday to your birthday next year. And astrocartography is great too, because it shows me how different locations on the map are going to feel for you specifically based on your astrology. So that's called astrocartography. Yeah. So I use that, and I also use the tarot and numerology. I combine all three, and I'm an intuitive astrologer and tarot reader, right? So I also listen to the messages I get while I'm interpreting these things. So if you want to speak to me, please do get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. I hope you have an amazing week. Check out some of my other videos. Like, for instance, we had the full moon in Cancer. I make the full moon and new moon videos, and then also the daily tarot readings on the channel. So I hope you have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.